We're out at the coop rallying up some birds today. You may have guessed this, but we have too many chickens. So we need to make some cuts. Never an easy thing to do. We were kind of planning on doing this in the fall, but time's gotten away from us, so now it's winter and it's time to make these choices. We've got 4 different breeds, but we also have a few crosses. We hatched out, or actually the moms hatched out some little babies this year. They foraged all summer and had a great time, and now they're stuck in their coop. The coop is definitely like a paradise for them. It's heated, it's spacious, but they are eating a lot of food and we just don't need this many birds. This is just a part of chicken keeping, something we typically do annually. We'll get our stock, we'll get some meat out of it. So we are going to dispatch them over by our woodshed, and the way Eric and I like to do it is just like the classic block of wood and axe, and that's because I feel like it's the most, they can be like the most calm, so we can kind of hug them, pet them, give them a little kiss, and then life is over. There is also kill cones, and we've used those too. We're gonna start first with the rooster that we have. We have 3 in there. So I've got an Icelandic, we have a 𝐒𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐷, and we have a Chanticleer, and we're not keeping him. He won't be making the cut. So we're gonna do the dirty work, and we'll see you back inside the cabin.
Yeah, I turned it off. You don't want it too hot, right?
No.
It's ready for a bird.
Do you see this, how perfect that size is?
You need your compost buckets or anything?
I do. Thank you very much.
It's a nice sized chicken.
Yeah, she was a nice one. Let's see what this situation is over here.
It's definitely 1 quart worth of meat right there.
That's awesome.
Okay, we got a wing, 2 drum sickles, 2 nice thighs. Surprised on those. And breast meat.
Now, can I ask you, do we have a total count on birds? Well, we only have 3 more birds to process. It's taking a little bit longer because we are plucking the birds, so it always adds a little bit more to the processing time. Eric and I have culled a lot of chickens in our day, and for probably like a year when we moved up to Alaska, we got a little lazy and we were skinning the birds. You know, it's real simple that way. You can get the feathers off and the skin off just in one shot, and composting it, but you lose all of the beautiful fat, especially on older birds. We've definitely made it a priority to go back to doing it that way. This is a good example of one of our birds. Not huge, so not something you're gonna see at the grocery store. I've got another one right here who's also pretty small. This is an Icelandic, so a lot smaller. And I saved the rooster to show you how we process them. He's much bigger, so he's gonna be a much better example. So I've got a little pot of very hot water right here. I think he'll fit. Let's see. It's a very big bird. So I'm just kind of working that warm water into the feathers, and we are going to pluck them. How you dress these guys out is totally up to you. I'm going to take off the feet now. Those are going in the stock. I'll usually have like some shears if I need them for snipping. And then there's a very sharp knife we have for slicing. I try to take like the lymph nodes off when I'm cleaning out the innards. And I will try and get like this little oil gland they have above. For the lack of me not remembering right now, I guess you'd say like their tail feather, their little rump.
Arielle's doing a great job getting these chickens ready. It is not easy to do by hand, and the plan is with these chickens is to can the meat. We've never canned chicken meat before, and we had this idea, you know, we had so many chickens we wanted to take down. We decided we wanted to do something other than just make chicken stock, although we are making chicken stock. And what I'm doing over here is I'm starting with the legs and the thighs. I'm keeping them together on most of the chickens. His might be a little too big. I don't know if they're gonna fit in the jar, so I'll get those off. I'll get the breast meat out, and then I'll get the little chicken wings, and I'm left with the carcass. That's going in the pressure canner, and that's what we're gonna be making our chicken stock out of. Look at that. That's a nice piece of meat right there. All right, all that's gonna go in the stock pot. Hey, you put that in there. Or you don't have to. Okay, fill her up.
Eric started our pressure canners that we're going to be using as pressure cookers for the carcasses. We've got just some stuff we had, so carrots, onions, shallots, and some of the last herbs in the garden that I pulled together before everything froze and froze them. So we're adding them in.
There's a lot in here. All right, guys. We're grilling up our chicken. The method we're going to use, because I feel like we're going to get more flavor out of it, is partially cooking the chicken first before we put it in the jars. I'm doing olive oil in there to get some nice color on it, and then we're doing salt and pepper. I am choosing to separate the thighs from the little drumstick, because I don't think they're going to fit in the jars as well. So we're going to do these in a few batches.
Goes in each one, or you think
Mix, no, it doesn't matter. Mix, all of one.
I'm just kind of practicing.
Well, you can put some meat in there.
Yeah, I just want to see what.
Maybe like when you have little spaces, you could pack some breast meat in there, or more. Maybe not.
That's it. Okay. Another thigh. Don't think our stove has ever been this greasy.
Some chicken. Take as much as you can.
That's like the for the processing.
It's just lukewarm.
No, I'd get it at least a simmer.
It's gonna be a while.
That's fine.
Things are going very smooth today, and that is because Arielle has done a ton of prep to make our canning as easy as we can get it. She's done all the cleaning and the preparation a few days ago. We've got our chickens in the jars, and our chickens are small, so it's pretty much one chicken fits in a jar. We ended up with 13 here that we're going to be canning today, and we're going to be pressure canning them. They're going to go in there for 75 minutes for these quarts. We're going to do them at 11 pounds. Something that's kind of interesting is when you leave the bone in, the chicken pieces, it's actually a little less time you have to process them for.
right, we've got one of the pressure canners going. Unfortunately, the other one, I don't know, the seal wasn't on there just right. That newer Presto canner, we've had that issue a few times. You have to just like sit it on there just right. And we have to kind of oil the band quite a bit. So we're gonna have to let it come down and start that again. But we are moving on. We're working on some enchilada sauce for tomorrow. And I'm super excited about some of these peppers that we got. I just ordered them. They are very like moist and juicy. So even though they're dried peppers, they just seem pretty fresh. And I did a little bit of research. There's something called the Holy Trinity Mexican peppers. I found some sources saying it was these three, and I found some other sources saying it was one other different variety mixed in those three. So I bought all 4 of them. So we have all 4 of them with us. This first one is absolutely amazing. It smells like deep, earthy, fruity. Got these little red ones in here. Put a bunch of those aside. And when we have some more space on the stove, we can get started on this. Like, that looks just amazing. That smells really spicy, that one. Let's get a bunch of these in here. I mean, they feel like fruit leather. That's how moist they are.
Stuff's starting to come together here.
I know. It's gonna be really good tomorrow. The messed up part is we're not even doing.
I know we're not even eating anything.
We're not even trying. Yeah, we're not even tasting it. We're doing all this we can.
Jar of food like that. Oh, you can really smell them now when they start toasting.
I'd say it's better to do light rather than burning.
We are lightly toasting the peppers and some garlic and some onion. The peppers, they went up my nose. We are not doing good in here right now. I don't know how those are that hot. Okay, I think I'm ready to do it. What do you think? Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of sauce.
Oh wow, that looks really good. Yeah, that looks really good. Beautiful.
That's amazing.
Look at all the fat on that one. Nice and brown, huh?
Right, that's awesome.
I'd say the liquid came up a little too. Maybe a 1/4 inch.
We let the pepper and onion mixture sit in some chicken broth for about a ½ an hour, and that rehydrates all of the peppers. And at this point, you can either just blend it as is, and that's your enchilada sauce. It's really easy and it's delicious, or you can add a couple things. We're going to add some stuff this time. We're going to do oregano. What is that? Oh, we're going to grind some coriander in there. Cumin's always good. Paprika. We have a little brown sugar that we might add if it needs to be a little sweeter. And then this time, we're actually going to put in a can of tomato sauce. So we're going to do this in 2 batches because we got so much to do.
Usually use 4 peppers.
It has some major spice to it, though. We're gonna have to put some of that. I think you put a lot of that red pepper. We gotta. Well, that was easy.
We woke up to a beautiful morning and we have some exciting stuff that we're going to be canning today. So first we're going to be starting with grinding up some moose meat, and we're going to be mixing this with that enchilada sauce that we made yesterday. We're also going to be doing some big old moose chunks and jars and canning those too. And we remembered last night that we've done that before. I didn't think we had. So we're also looking forward to that because we remembered that it was absolutely delicious and we ate through it very quickly. This little fella came from the roadkill list, and the friends that we went in on it with, they had all their moose meat and all their meat taken care of, so we actually got to keep the whole moose. Very small little thing, and it was damaged pretty badly. But we did harvest a lot from it, and we sectioned it at the time into two things. We had roast meat, and then we had grinder's meat that Eric wrote on here. And that's just because we knew we were already thinking ahead of what we wanted to do with it. So about half of it is pulled out, and that's what we're gonna be starting with. Are we gonna grind twice?
You gotta grind through the little one afterwards, yeah.
How is that temperature-wise? It looks perfect.
Definitely frozen. See how much it shrinks down. Say that's done. Almost fully cooked. I have a feeling this is going to become one of our favorite new recipes to make. The sauce smells amazing. So we're adding it to all of that ground moose meat that we just cooked. I cooked it almost all the way, but it's pretty much done. And I'm gonna thoroughly mix it all. We're gonna pack this into pint jars, and that's gonna be it. It's gonna be that canned moose enchilada.
Because you want it to be like a sauce. I would say we go get some broth too.
You could always pack them in the jars, and you could pour a tiny bit of broth in them.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Keep them a little moister.
I didn't think about that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I'd say 20. We're gonna make about 20.
Okay. No way.
No way! Would you want to... Sometimes this thing's full, you know what I'm saying? Okay, did you not think that it was full on the bottom?
Yeah.
You
Is it
did?
not?
No, it's like down here.
They're
I thought the liquid was like up to here, so we
Is
could
it-
totally fill this up. It's clogged is what happens.
very concentrated.
It always gets clogged with that. So we've been working on getting chicken stock canned, and we also are going to be canning some bone broth. This has been stewing away for about 3 days. These are moose bones, and Eric cut these up. We did dice them up a little bit smaller this time, so it's a really rich stock. And this is some of the liquid that we're going to use for those enchilada jars because we do want them a hair more juice in there, liquid. OMG, I really want to eat this. Would you want to ban these?
Not particularly.
Whoa, we really filled these to chunk of meat right there, I saw.
Into the pressure canner they go. We're going to be double stacking these because we've got pints and we can fit How many are we just doing here? We did 16 in here once. These are gonna go for 75 minutes at 11 pounds, and then we are gonna start on our raw pack moose meat.
Cube stick.
Yeah, it is.
Man, they're like really
Oh.
at the brim. Okay, last one. It's lids. But I'm not going to heat lids yet because it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get some.
Okay.
And you literally just did. I don't.
Smash, and I'm just pushing them in there a little.
Well, they're frozen, so I guess you can't push them in that.
Well, I mean, they're gonna shrink when you cook them.
Wow. Did we underestimate or did we overestimate?
I don't know what's going on here. We'll see how many we get. Another exciting one we're canning up, and it's getting late in the evening. This has been a canning extravaganza these past couple days. This one's a little bit different because I mentioned it's the raw pack, so we're not going to add any liquid to these. These are going to go in pints. We're going to process them for the same amount of time, 75 minutes, and these are going to secrete their own liquid. We are adding a little bit of spices here, some really delicious ones. Okay, those are good.
We need some more bounds. You got the double rack yet? Oh, yeah.
I only got one over here. Where'd they all go?
Round 2. Going to be a late night canning. We had hoped to do this raw pack in some quart-sized jars, but we didn't have any. We used all of them. I'm pretty sure we have over 1,000 jars. Not all of them are completely full with canned food right now. Eric and I were just chatting. We think we've canned several thousand jars up here in Alaska. I like to use brand new lids on anything meat, mainly because I don't want to have to reprocess it. I just want to minimize the risk of needing to go twice, because if you have to process it twice, that's just no good. So I've gotten away with reusing lids for a very long time. These ones are brand new. I use Ball and Care. They're my favorite because they're thicker metal and they have like a really nice rubber portion to the lid. So with maintenance and inspecting them, being careful when we pop them off, I've been able to get away doing that for several years. Eventually they got to get retired, but the reason we did that is because you can see we do a lot of canning. So it makes sense to me. We finished up this morning with a whopping 90 jars, and we need to restore some balance in here and get these out of the kitchen and into the shop. So we have 24 of the moose chunks. We have 30 stalks altogether. That's moose and chicken. And then we've got 21 of this enchilada ground moose meat and 13 of these gorgeous canned chickens.
The moose meat looks like it turned out awesome. We won't know until we eat it, but one part I'm pretty excited about is the fact that we added the seasonings to it. And each of them created like its own little moose broth in there. These are gonna be great to have this winter. It's so easy when we go out on excursions or camping trips, anything like that, just to pop open a can of meat.
And 2 of the chickens actually didn't seal, and we took advantage of that and ate one of them already. It turned out absolutely amazing. It exceeded our expectations. When we took it out, the meat is delicate and moist, falls off the bone, but it's still like in these big chunks, so it's not like too small or anything like that. I'm really happy we did this at this point because in the past you know, we were feeding us, but then we were feeding the dogs, feeding the chickens, and things go to the compost then. So we never waste anything. But I think this is a much better way for us to get more from our chickens that we're raising. And all this food is just like totally meals in jars. Awesome, awesome.
So a lot of jars we're gonna haul over to the shop. Things are getting crazy over there when it comes to organization of our canned food or lack of it, but we've got a project coming up pretty soon that hopefully will take care of that.
See you on the next one. Okay. Because then we can get to the enchilada stuff if we want, like that. What do you think about that? Yeah, we can put that. I gotta run into the water for some reason.
Bring it over here.
I'm trying to run into the water. Oh, she's mad.
I stuck my fingers up my nose and now it burns.
It's pretty sad, huh?
Washed them and everything. Ah! I'm good in here right now.
Somebody's choking and gagging my nose.
I don't know how those are that hot. Gauge is a little off. What, 4 pounds?
Yeah, it's gotten off a little bit.